Quarterback gang, what is up? I'm Kurt Benkert, and I'm your host here on Bleacher Report. We will be talking everything NFL, quarterbacks, and all of it in between. It was a crazy week, and we still have a great game tonight. We got Ravens, Lions, Monday Night Football. Hopefully, it'll be a lot better than the Sunday Night Football game that we all had to watch last night between the Giants and the Chiefs. It was rough, kind of a slow-paced game, but we had some crazy action all around the league. I'm not gonna lie, it was one of those weeks where you didn't know what was going to happen until the very end of the game. And I believe I saw something, maybe it was on Twitter. It was the first time since like pre 1970 that as many teams as that did happen, trying to word it correctly, scored in the last 4 minutes of the game to win the game since like the past 50 years. It was the craziest witching hour, as Red Zone would say, to the end of the slate. But man, we got a great show today. We've got chat that's going to be popping all throughout, guys. Make sure you guys are asking all of your questions. We'll be answering them all throughout. I appreciate you guys being here. It is going to be a blast. But I do have my Microsoft Surface device here to answer your questions, and it will be helping with the show today. So shout out to Microsoft for getting us dialed in. Let me go grab my Surface, which I will be getting all ready to go for chat. And we also have some fun little Copilot integrations into the show. For those of you that do not know, Copilot is Microsoft's AI that will help us with everything we need today. All right, let's get the show going. I see that a bunch of people are popping through in chat. Hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. We will be breaking down reactions, film, all of it, and everything in between. But yes, let's get this thing rolling, man. All right, let's start the run of show. Let's talk about the QB2 takeover. So we obviously had Carson Wentz come in, step up big time. Mariota come up, step up big time. Those two guys, for me, jumped off the tape. And I will say, I think we're going to be seeing some other QB2s, maybe even QB3s, get a chance as we roll throughout. But you look at Carson Wentz, man, it was pretty incredible what he did. He read the field cleanly, distributed, extended plays when he needs to. I mean, you can see obviously they had a great protection. The Bengals defense, if you're talking about a get right game as a quarterback coming in for your first start in a long time, what a way to get right by playing against the Bengals. Also, that route right there, I remember when I was with the Falcons back in the day, I broke down a lot of Carson Wentz tape for our coaches because they were trying to learn about the RPOs they were running back then. All of it was very new, 2018, 19, 20. All that stuff was very new to the league. Fast forward to now, you see some of these arches combinations like you just saw in that second touchdown where there's a clear out and then a widened slant. That's like Carson Wentz's bread and butter. But 14 of 20, completion, 2 attempts, 173 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 129.8 rating, which I believe, don't fact check me, but go ahead and fact check me because Copilot told me so. That's his second best passer rating in his career. And it's with Kevin O'Connell. Quarterback guru, revitalized. We can say revitalized Daniel Jones' career. Daniel Jones was with them last year, even though he didn't play any. Then he went somewhere, has had a great start to this season. He had Sam Darnold, who he revitalized the career of, and now they have Carson Wentz. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, Carson Wentz, he's going to be the guy moving forward. I don't think J.J. McCarthy, ankle or not, is going to be stepping back on the field if Carson Wentz is playing that way. Wentz has earned the trust. He's a big body. He can make all the throws. And it looks like he's found his home. So Carson Wentz, congrats on the great outing. But we got to talk about Marcus Mariota too. Mr. Give Dan Quinn the bloody nose Mariota himself. Another great performance in a Cliff Kingsbury offense that really struggled the week, or was it the week prior they struggled? I believe it was against the Packers. But look at Mariota, man, getting it done with his feet, read it out, still athletic, still has the juice from when he was a Heisman guy. Could get it done in the air, drops back clean, nice throw on a line. Scary Terry, unfortunately, gets tackled at the 1 yard line, I believe. Gets it taken out, but he had 1 passing touchdown, 207 yards on the or through the air. I believe he also had 40 yards on the ground and a rushing touchdown. Pretty awesome outing, and it looks like the Commanders have a system that's fit for quarterbacks that can stretch vertically, check it down, get it done with their feet. Pretty cool to see Mariota come to life like that. Also, I see chat popping on the bottom left, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys a ton. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm seeing you guys. Man, but what a crazy start. Also, we do have a, let's go pop over to Copilot here. Let's go ask Copilot real quick. All right. What's a stat that would support Carson Wentz being a starter in 2025? Let's see. All right. A compelling stat that supports Carson Wentz as a viable starter in 2025. He posted 139.2 passer rating in week 3, the second highest of his career. Okay. Second highest of his career. Wentz, let's see, poised under pressure. He was sacked 3 times but didn't panic or force throws, which was something we saw from him, which now is a sign of maturity and system mastery, which is pretty cool because we know that Kevin O'Connell has a really good system. Let's see, comparative edge. His rating nearly doubled that of Bengals QB Jake Browning, showing Wentz was clearly the better quarterback on the field that day. Historical consistency. Wentz became the first quarterback in NFL history to start for 6 different teams in 6 consecutive seasons and still deliver a clean winning performance. Oh my gosh. I did not know that stat. Thank you, Copilot, for throwing that out there for us. All right, let's see. Also, love this thing. Love my little helpful pad. All right, in a league where turnover-free football and situational awareness are prized, Wentz's Week 3 outing was a textbook example of why veteran experience still matters. Want to see how his performance stacks up against other quarterbacks this season? Maybe next time, Copilot. But man, that was awesome. I like how I literally typed the question, spit out a bunch of stuff for me. I'm going to start using it for some of my scripting on my vertical videos that I have coming up. You guys follow me on Instagram, social media, and all that good stuff. We do have a lot of content being pushed out all the time. Pull this down so I can see a little bit more. All right. Want to make sure I can read your guys' chat. All right. But yes, Copilot, that was money. Thank you so much. We've got to keep going with the show. Let's talk about the Falcons, Bengals, meltdowns. Okay. I think that maybe there's a little bit of a homer pick. Okay. Maybe there's a little bit of a homer operation here. I love Michael Penix Jr. Okay. Absolutely love Michael Penix Jr. I think that the scheme that he's using, that he's in, does not help him at all as a passer. And I'll break down some of that film later, but Michael Penix Jr., in my opinion, is not being helped by the situation that he's in. Too much pistol, not enough stretching the field, in my opinion, for the type of offense, type of players they have. Very static play design. There's just not a lot going on. Like you look at what's going on the field. Okay, we got a short motion out. Let's see. We get the pick 6. Obviously, that's on him. He can't just blindly throw it. So we're showing the pick 6. But when you watch them play, it doesn't look like there's any rhyme or reason with how they operate. The running back's in pistol most of the time, which makes it really tough to stress the defense horizontally. They don't get into empty enough, in my opinion, and they don't really have an identity. But 18 of 36, 172 yards, 2 interceptions. Bijan, 13 carries, 72 yards. I don't mind that Bijan gets the ball the way he does, but I don't mind that he gets the ball as often as he does, but I wish that they ran a little bit more under center for their play action, a little less pistol. And I don't know, man. I watched them on tape and they look like an outlier of an offense that doesn't really have an identity. But on the flip side, you got to give the Panthers credit. Their defense showed up. Their offense played pretty solid. And I mean, this is gross. The Falcons never crossed the Panthers' 30-yard line. You can't win football games like that in the NFL. There's absolutely no path forward if you're playing football like that. And I'm not going to lie to you, we saw this the week prior against the Vikings. The Vikings do have a good defense, but field goals all game long won't get it done. They have no creativity in the red zone. They didn't even get to the red zone in that game. It's just the Falcons really struggled, and they don't look good. I'm staying as far away from them as possible until they get a different identity on offense. I do think they have the players to make it happen. Penix can sling it. Drake London can catch it. He can run. He can get vertical. Kyle Pitts showed some life. And Bijan is one of the best players in football. How can you not get them open in space consistently? I don't know. Maybe steal some plays from around the league and you can help yourself out. But we've got to move on because the Bengals imploded. And I know they lost Joe Burrow. I know it. I get it. But the same problems existed that they had with Joe Burrow in week 1. The O-line was tough. Browning forced the ball a little bit too much. Guys were missing plays, dropping balls. Like, it just wasn't clean. You can see here, look, reading across the board. He's got to try to scramble to make a play. Going to get smacked. Just a little miscommunication. But also, Rodgers, game of his life. It was incredible to see what they were able to do. And then once you get behind the 8 ball, it's tough when you're in obvious pass downs. Let's see. Drops back to pass. Covered in the flat. Covered there. Probably could have checked it down inside shoulder. I don't know what Jamar Chase was doing. Ball gets tipped. Like, he tried to make a play, and this is just an incredible play by Rodgers, but I don't know, man. I think the Bengals schematically have been living and dying by their offensive players being better, like in the skill position than defenses. They're not really scheming up open guys. Like you're just, I don't know. You're seeing this all around the league right now. These West Coast offenses that have had a decent run are finally getting caught up to by these defenses that are beating what they're doing. And I don't know if it's a lack of creativity. I don't know if it's just you have too many tells in your offensive game plans. But when you go into a game, you cannot just expect to line up and beat people because you have better players. I really think that you need to be able to have guys schemed up to get open consistently, 4 yards, 5 yards a pop. Like you look at the Chiefs don't have better players than the defenses right now. They've got a lot of receivers out, but they're consistently scheming up guys to at least get somewhat open. And I just don't think you're seeing it in a lot of these West Coast systems. I think same thing. You're looking at like what the Packers did yesterday. It was just rough, and they're all from that same tree of West Coast that it just doesn't. I don't know. I think offenses are evolving, or defenses are evolving, and offenses in general need to now take the next step. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm seeing some chat going. Let's see. Chiefs injury rosters out of line. Dude, their roster's tough. You do look around the league. You do look around the league, and man, there's a lot of injuries already, but there's teams doing it in different ways. And I just think more so like now than ever, there is a more level playing field across the NFL where this is going to be a dogfight all year long. It is going to be an absolute dogfight. And I cannot wait to watch it play out, but we do have more to talk about. Let's talk about the blocked field goals. Man, how many blocked field goals did we have this week, chat? There was two, for sure two in the Eagles game, I believe. There was a blocked field goal in the Chiefs-Giants game. I mean, Cleveland had one. I mean, we had a ton. I think the most blocked field goals in a week ever in the NFL. And you could probably, let's just ask Copilot this. How many blocked, let's see, field goals have happened in a single week in the NFL? Because it felt crazy to me. I don't know about you guys, but it felt crazy. Look, here we are. Week 3 of the 2025 NFL season may have set a modern benchmark for blocked field goals with at least 4 confirmed blocks and 2 for a touchdown, all happening on Sunday alone. The Eagles-Rams had 2 blocked. The Jets-Bucks had a blocked. Browns-Packers had a block. And then I believe technicalities were the blocked extra point on the Chiefs game. It was the Chiefs-Giants that had their backup in at the very beginning when they scored the touchdown with Cam Scatterbo, a blocked extra point. So, I mean, at least 4 blocks, maybe arguably 5. What is going on with special teams in the NFL? It's crazy. You would think they get paid a lot of money to not let kicks get blocked, but I guess special teams can win you games. Special teams is back. I also will say absolutely, you can clip this out, I love the new NFL kickoff return rules. I love how many teams are being forced to be creative. I love how they're now deep squib line drive kicks. Some teams are still deciding just to kick it in the back of the end zone. But getting the ball out on the 35-yard line every single time, it's not worth it, and it's not going to be up for the long haul. These teams have got to be creative, and some of them are. I saw the Rams a bunch the other day. They were doing some creative things in the special teams game, and they were pinning them inside the 20 with how they were line driving and making it hard to return. I love that special teams is back. Field goals matter. Field goal blocks matter. Kickoffs matter. It all matters. We also had a punt return for a touchdown yesterday, right? Yeah? Was it Lane out of the Commanders? Just crazy. See in chat, I will say, I'm going to be doing a Chargers film breakdown after this. It's going to be electric. All right. What about touchdowns on the 4 and 2 minute warning? That was also crazy. I'm not going to lie to you guys. As a sophisticated man that does dabble in the predictions element of things, the last 4 minutes of football yesterday was crazy. Was it 7 games? Don't remember exactly, but it was like 7 games that had touchdowns at the last 4 minutes or in of the game. Most in the last 55 plus years. I mean, we have not seen that before. It was crazy. It was crazy. But let's see. Let's see. Can I get my chat? Oh, there we go. Seahawks had 2 field goal blocks. Let's see. Yeah, had field goal blocks. Saints had a dude. It's crazy. Have you? Ooh, here's a good question. Have you been a part of any teams that were able to successfully reinvent their system? Ooh, mid-season, or know of any successful you personally watched happen league wide? That is a good question. I feel like let me think back into my bag of tricks here. Okay, the 49ers. The 49ers. When I was with the 49ers in 2022, it was when Christian McCaffrey was there. Okay? No, Christian McCaffrey wasn't there yet, but he had just gotten there. So, Christian McCaffrey, we traded for Christian McCaffrey when I was there in like week 4 or 5, and we were with Jimmy Garoppolo, and it was not good. We could not run like passing routes out of the backfield a whole lot. We had Jeff Wilson as the main running back. I believe he was fine. But Christian McCaffrey completely brought a whole new element to the game, being able to run free release pass routes out of the backfield, changed everything, opened up the season. Jimmy Garoppolo also started to pop off before his injury, mainly because of the system, I will say. But then Brock Purdy got to step up. And I will say Kyle Shanahan did a really good job of playing with whatever chess pieces he had and reinventing his version of his own system time and time again. But great questions in chat, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in, getting active. Pretty sick stuff. Let's see. All right. But we do have to talk about some quarterbacks. Let's talk about Caleb Williams. Sorry. Let's talk about Daniel Jones and Caleb Williams. Okay. Both of these guys turned heads. Caleb Williams finally, and again, sometimes in the NFL, it takes a few weeks to get rolling. But it looked like the Bears had an identity yesterday. And it was against, yes, the Dallas Cowboys, but look at this flea flicker. That ball hung up there forever, but he was still able to sling it like 65 plus air yards to Luther Burden, keeps his feet in, makes one miss. Luther Burden arrived yesterday. And I will say that was the sketchiest flea flicker of all time with how long that ball held up there. But Caleb Williams, no panic, complete drive on the ball, just throws an absolute dime. And it looks like the Bears offense took a step, okay? 142.6 rating, 4 touchdowns, nearly 300 yards passing. I loved what I saw to Caleb Williams, and I thought we'd see that a little bit sooner out of him, but better week 3 than never. Hey, look, if you look at it this way, the Bears could very easily be 2-1 right now. They had the Vikings game in the bag, and they blew it. That's an L. They obviously lost to the Lions. That's an L. But this game, nice bounce-back game. The Bears are not a team that people are going to be able to sleepwalk over. And I will say their defense played a lot better too. They held the Cowboys in check. So, I don't know. And the first game without getting sacked and first game with 4 touchdowns. This looked like a Ben Johnson system that Caleb Williams was able to elevate. And I think as time goes on, those two are only going to get better. They're going to figure out what each other likes. And it's going to get rolling in Chicago, which right now in the NFC North, that division is a dogfight. The Packers lose a crazy game down the stretch to the Browns. The Bears handled business. You have the Vikings handling business without their quarterback. Presumably, they have their new quarterback going forward, and now you have the Lions tonight against the Ravens, who the Ravens are favored. We've got some action, man, but we also do have to talk about Daniel Jones. I want to give Daniel Jones his flowers. Absolute electric gameplay over the last few weeks. And I will say, he's kind of in a Carson Wentz situation where he's been helped by the system. He's been helped by the run game. He's got a really good tight end now, and he doesn't have to be a superhero, but he's still making all the plays. He did have some superhero plays, though, I will say. He didn't have to do this stuff. He doesn't have to do this to win games. But when he pulls these out of his bag, this now elevates this Colts team, and we get to see Indiana Jones absolutely dogging teams. They're 3-0 right now. And look, he's got guys like Pittman. He's got Downs. He's got a bunch of talent. Like, look at that catch. Was that Pierce? Pierce has been making plays. No, he may have got shaken up a little bit there, but 18 of 25, 228 yards passing and a touchdown. Was able to get it done with his feet as well. Daniel Jones no longer has to be a superhero and save his team like he did in New York, which not many quarterbacks are like really capable of being superheroes every time they need to be. Only a handful. And now that Daniel Jones has a rushing game to go along with this, Jonathan Taylor, by the way, running his way to potentially Offensive Player of the Year. I know that it's tough for a guy like that to get MVP, but we've got to really talk about it, dude. Like, the Colts look for real. The division looks abysmal. Jaguars kind of holding on to it a little bit. The Texans look terrible. The Titans are so young and kind of fresh, like they're not really going to be a force. This is the Colts division to lose at this day. We'll see what happens when they get deeper into divisional battles. I also see guys, thank you so much for popping in and chat. Seeing you guys rolling right now, but Daniel Jones needs his flowers. Caleb Williams needs his flowers. We're week 3 in the NFL, and we have learned a lot about teams, but it's all about sustainability. How long can they keep it going? I don't know, man. It's going to be fun to watch. But we do have one last piece we got to get to. Let's talk about how did this happen. Little film breakdown segment-ish. Little video overlay. Let's kick it off. Who do we want to talk about first? Let's get to Herbert, because Justin Herbert, again, is another guy that I will absolutely be talking about today. Justin Herbert had a crazy touchdown pass. I believe this one was to Keenan Allen. He's going to drop back to pass, hit his 5-step drop, step up in the pocket, makes one miss, runs to his left, flips his hips as quick as he can, finds Keenan Allen streaking across the field. Watch his back if he drops back, up in the pocket, makes one miss sideways. To be a right-handed thrower and do this in stride, Keenan Allen, one-handed contested catch. The Slayer is back, throws it around him, gets hit, gets roughed, hand in the face. The Chargers look like a force, and the Chargers look like it is their division to lose. The AFC West currently feels like it's being flipped. I love it. Love watching Justin Herbert play football. And I will say, right now, he is in the top 3 of the MVP ratings, along with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, who we will see tonight. But then we also want to break down the Caleb Williams touchdown pass that he had with, I believe, the flea flicker. I want to talk a little bit about it schematically, how it worked out. We're going to fake a toss with a wind back. The ball goes up. He's going to throw a deep pylon route off a slow play. And the coverage ended up being, I believe it was cover 3. So the cover 3 corner on the left side where the route starts is going to bail out. He's going to go, and he's actually going to be running this route on the safety who had low feet. So he runs in, stems in a little bit inside the numbers, then weaves back out on basically a deep corner route. And the fact that Caleb Williams was able to get that ball downfield with as much velocity as he did was incredible. Loved seeing it. Love the fact that we've got a lot of action. We're only in week 3. We also have some chat going. Appreciate you guys being here. But man, what a crazy week in the NFL. Just when we think we know teams, week 3 comes around and shakes things up. Big dogs fall off, upsets, blowouts. You've got teams that blow leads. Like we saw everything in the spectrum in the NFL on the Sunday slate. And we get another game on Monday night. I think this game is going to deliver. It is in Baltimore. I'm seeing Daniel Jones MVP in chat. He's better than Elway. Look, I love where the NFL is right now. I feel like every team, for the most part, has a chance to do something besides the Saints. The Saints, dumpster fire. But like you look at the Browns. Browns just handled the fourth quarter with the Packers and handled them all day long. Daniel Jones MVP. If Daniel Jones goes through 6-7 weeks of this, no lie, Daniel Jones could be in the MVP talks. Like it's not too crazy to say. Anything can happen every single year. I don't think he'll win MVP. That's my personal opinion. But I will also say, like you look around the league, you got guys like Daniel Jones elevating, Carson Wentz elevating. Then you got guys like CJ Stroud, like junior year slump. Like I don't know. Maybe it's the protection. Maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but the Texans don't look good. Their defense looks solid, but the offense that was once explosive, not so explosive. And Nico Collins isn't enough to win them games. And CJ Stroud, like, I love him as a passer, but he just doesn't look like he's seeing the field the right way. And I don't know if it's the new system. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he feels like he's pressing, trying to make plays, trying to be a superhero. But, I mean, again, nobody's open there, but he's got to take off with his feet, and he's got to go start making plays with his feet more than he probably wants to. And if you look back at him in college, he was just an athletic pocket passer. Like, he really wants to win from the pocket. He can make any throw with his feet. But CJ Stroud is having a junior year slump right now, and they've got to figure it out fast, or else they're going to be at the bottom barrel of the division with the Titans, looking at what draft pick they're going to get. So Texans, they got to figure it out. We've got to figure out who's going to win on Monday Night Football. But that is a wrap for this Monday morning quarterback show, brought to you by Bleacher Report. I'm Kurt Benkert. If you guys want to, you can follow me everywhere at Kurt Benkert, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all of it. We've got a bunch of content out on the way. Thank you guys for vibing with me. Thank you for rocking with me in chat. And thank you for Microsoft bringing us Copilot to gear us up for every show all year long. I'll catch you guys next time.